book nerds and friends, how are you today? I am going to be bringing you my July book haul, which is quite big and long, and we may be joined by a friend in a second who has just come in from outside and is probably very wet. So if we have a cat visitor, which we are about to, come on then. Hello. Don't show everybody your bumhole. This is Scout. He's very naughty and he's now soggy. So I'm going to try and continue with the cat visitor. So how I'm going to do this is, first of all, I'm going to do a section on gifts and exchanges and giveaways that I got from Bookstagram. Then I will do the physical books that I've bought myself, and then I will go through all the ebooks that I have bought myself. And he's gone. There we go. Simple as that. So first up, from the 500 follower giveaway of Might Read Until I Feel Better, I got the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires and Turn of the Key. These were both on my wishlist, so it was a wishlist giveaway, and these are now waiting to be read, and I'm hopefully going to take one or maybe both of them on holiday. Depends whether I finish other books before I get to go on holiday. So thank you very much for these. Next up, I received in a Kindle book exchange The Gospel of Loki by Pretty Little Readers. We've got another cat. Is she going to come up as well? Yes, she is. You coming up? Hello. No, she's very camera shy. Okay. She's going to sit on the chair next to me. So yeah, I got The Gospel of Loki by Pretty Little Readers on Kindle, and that was something that I stumbled upon my library having, but their copy had been lost several years ago, so I haven't been able to borrow it. So I popped it on my Amazon wish list, and it was there for an exchange. Next up, this is from Books and Theatres giveaway. The Fifth Science by Exerbia. This is a series of short sci-fi stories that all revolve around the idea of the fifth science that sort of appears and kills the Empire. So I will hopefully be reading this at some point this year. I do have a lot of things to read, but this does sound right up my street. Next and last in the giveaways, exchanges, this was an exchange. This is Stephen King's The Institute in paperback, which only just came out. But I think it went down to something like £3.50, and that just happened to be the day we were doing the exchange. So Pages I've Read grabbed this for me, and then I sent her something in return. So those are all the giveaways, gifts and exchanges. Next we will do some hard copies that I have acquired for myself. The first one I'm going to talk about though is technically not bought. It was an exchange at a little phone box library in a place called Bell Broughton, which is, 20 minutes drive away from where I live. And we happened to drive through there one weekend, and I spotted that they had a phone box library, and I said, right, we've got to go back and investigate the phone box library. So I did, and you can see some pictures of it on my Bookstagram account. But I also took a book that I was unhauling, which was Killing Floor, which is the first Lee Child Jack Reacher book, which I had read but didn't see much point in keeping. So I took that and exchanged it for a Scholastic copy of The Hunger Games, which I have not read, and I kind of feel like I probably should read, and it's got nice big text. It has been water damaged, as you can see at the bottom, so it's a bit swollen. It still feels kind of damp now, even now. So I guess it was probably water damaged while it was in the little phone box library, because obviously that's outside. It's not like completely open to the elements, but it's also not, airtight. So it's got a little bit of damage. It clearly came as a set because it's not supposed to be sold and therefore does not have any barcodes. So someone's obviously had this from an old school library. So I will hopefully get around to reading this fairly soon. Next, well, I've actually forgotten the order in which I bought all these, so I've just stacked them. I've got the Broken Earth trilogy. Since buying this, I have read number 2. Number 1 I had already read via an audiobook previously, and I'm hoping to read The Stone Sky either this month or next month. I might take it on holiday with me. But it's a nice little box set. The box itself, as soon as you take one of these books out and the air gets into the pages somehow, they're then extremely difficult to get back in this box. Never mind, but I thought I'd buy myself the books because I might actually get around to reading them because I'm terrible at audiobooks. I just put them off all the time. Next, A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick. I have not read this one. I don't know what exactly prompted one of the quotes from the film to jump into my head, but the line about does the scanner see lightly or darkly jumped into my head, prompted by something else, and then I couldn't get it out of my head, and I thought, well, maybe I should read the book. So there you go. I got this edition. It said it was second. Well, I think it said it was new, but you can tell it's been sat in a warehouse for a very long time because it's got discoloured pages. Nevertheless, it's very short, so I'll probably get through it at some point, even though the text is kind of tiny. There we go. Next up, The Scar Knight by Alan Campbell. Now, if you know me, you will know that this is one of my favourite series, and surely I would already have this book. I do. I have a paperback copy of this book. However, I spotted this while browsing on Oxfam Bookshop online and spotted that they had this hardback copy that has also been signed. So I bought it because it's one of my favourite books, and this Alan Campbell has pretty much stopped writing since the duology that he published just after the Deepgate Codex, which was the Gravedigger Chronicles. So it's in pretty good condition. All this sort of stuff, that's actually part of the design of the cover. So it looks a bit worn, but it's not. So I bought it because I love the book and it was a signed copy and it's a hardback, and I didn't have a hardback of this one. I'm not getting rid of the paperback copy because that's probably the one that I will reread if I ever reread them. And to be honest, this is probably one of the books / series that I am most likely to try and reread. And finally, in the physical book section, I got Malice by John Gwynne because it went down to $2.99 while it was on my wish list, and I thought $2.99 seems like a good price for a massive book. I think it's like 628 pages, and it has very tiny text. So I've heard a lot of good things about this, mostly from the Mike's Book Reviews YouTube channel, and I thought I'd give it a go. I think there's 4 books in this series, and then he started another. I think he's finished another series, and then he's starting another series next year, possibly. It sounds it sounds interesting. It sounds like a good fantasy, and I am all down with fantasy at the moment. So I grabbed a copy of that because $2.99 for that many pages of brand new book is a really good deal. So now we're on to the ebooks. Some of these, the first couple, were actually completely free because at the time I had a Kindle Unlimited subscription, and with the Kindle Unlimited subscription you can sign up to receive the First Reads newsletter, which gives you a choice of, I think it's 4 or 5 books that are soon to be published, and you can get them slightly in advance and also for free. but you can only pick 2. So I picked, this I think was from the, this was the July newsletter, that's the word. Her Last Words and Trust No One. So those are the 2 books that I got for 0 pennies. Next up, I bought myself a copy of The Last Wish, which is the first or kind of like 0.5 Witcher story. It introduces The Witcher on, as I say, for the Kindle. I think it went down to something like 99p or 1.99, and it happened. I just happened to be looking at my wish list at the point where it had gone down to a discount, and I just thought I'd grab it. Next up is the Book of Collie, or Coley. I saw this on Goodreads. I think it got recommended to me on Goodreads as like, oh, you've read this, maybe you will like this. And it's the first, I've just bought the first book, so we'll see how it goes. Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. I have already read this because I was reading it for the read-along of The Greatcoats. And I have since got the second book out of the library. The Collapsing Empire. I haven't read this yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and everybody likes a space opera now and then. Slaughterhouse 5. Technically this is an audiobook, and I got it with my last credit on Audible before I cancelled the subscription. I got this specifically because it is a book that has been banned in the past, and I was looking for things to read for Banned Books Week in September. And then finally I got The Silence of the Girls, because I have been looking specifically to fulfill a book challenge that I gave myself, which was to read a retelling. And The Silence of the Girls is a retelling of, I think, the Trojan War. I can't remember. It's the retelling of a big Greek war from the perspective of all the women that were involved. And that sounded kind of fun. And so I bought that on Kindle also. So that is the massive list of 19 books that I acquired in July. I'm trying to be a lot more restrained this month. So I haven't really been entering many giveaways on Bookstagram. I've bought myself 3 ebooks, but they're all 99p, so that's okay. And I am trying to be sensible. I have tidied the shelves. I have put almost everything into a place on the shelves, so they look a lot tidier now. I've done an unhaul, and so I'm trying to tell myself that doesn't mean I need to fill the shelves back up again with loads of book stacks everywhere. However, I am also trying to be well behaved, I suppose, until I go on holiday, at which point there is an indie bookshop in the town where we are going, so I will probably go and have a look in there. And if I happen to pick anything up from there, then obviously I will let you know. I will show you in a haul video for next month, well, this month, for August. So, as always, if you like the cut of my jib, I suppose, the sort of books that I buy, read, etc., if you like this particular video, hit a like, hit subscribe so you can keep up to date with all my other stuff, and until then, stay safe, take care, and enjoy your reading. Bye bye.